Hey friends, it's Deb from Bowl Me Over, and we're doing something different today. It's been a long time since I've done a live feed, so I'm excited for our little challenge that we're doing today. I'm going to just check my computer before I get started. I want to make sure I'm actually live, so waiting for things to catch up here. So if you come on, when you come on, if you could please send me some waves, send me a hello, give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. Oh, it looks like we have a couple people joining us now, so good, I know I'm live. Okay, let me start again. It's Deb from Bowl Me Over, and I'm here at my house, and let me explain a little bit about what I'm doing today. We are doing, let me know, okay, good, you can hear me, good. Let me know if you can't hear me. I have an induction cooktop on the side and it's heating my pot. So if I'm not speaking loud enough, just let me know and I'll talk louder. So what we're doing today is a bloggers challenge. And we're not doing a competition or anything crazy like that. We're just trying to say, oh my gosh, you open the cupboard and you find the pantry and you find pasta and hot sauce and canned beans and crackers and peas. What do you make with that? So that's my job today, to show you what I would make in my house. So I'm going to start by, of course, washing my hands. I did wash them right before, and you're going to see me, unfortunately, you know, I might need to check my phone, I might need to check my computer just to actually read the comments and things, because I want to make sure that I give you, you know, not only what we're doing today, but also some good substitutions if you don't have everything in your pantry. So, okay. So when I see these ingredients, I think soup. It's often the thing I think. But so that's what we're going to make today. So you might call this a minestrone soup. You could call it a vegetable soup, but it's just like easy vegetables that many of us are going to have on hand. And as this gets going, it's good and hot now. I had half an onion, so I'm going to start with this, and just want to send everyone warm wishes and healthy vibes as you're navigating this part in life. I tell you, I know it's kind of scary and stuff now, but you know, we're doing the smart things and washing our hands and staying, you know, keeping our social distance and all that good stuff. And I'm sorry, all this is my ends and things of vegetables. I saved that. I took all my vegetables, even the outside of the onion, the sprigs. I'm going to put some kale in here. Shh, don't tell my husband he hates kale. It's good for him. I'm going to put some kale in here, some of the stems of the kale. But that kind of thing can turn into a great vegetable broth. All I do is tuck it in the slow cook, or the slow cooker or the Instant Pot with some water and maybe some ginger and garlic. But if you kind of save those things as you go, it's just an opportunity to not throw out. So that explains why I'm doing that. And I do wash the outside of the onions before I use them too. So just something to keep in mind. So I can't always see the comments and things. My computer, my internet's a little slow, but if I miss something, if you say, you know, Deb, I don't have kale, what can I use? Just leave it in the comments and I will come back and I will be sure to answer you. So, you know, this is what I have on hand. It may not be what you have on hand, but there's certainly things to substitute. So, okay, let's get started. So this is my pot. It's on about medium. I'm going to start by putting in some olive oil, and that was probably about 2 tablespoons. So, and I'm going to toss in my onion. Oh good, we got a nice sizzle. That's what I was looking for. And the soup I'm cooking today, my intention was for it to be a vegetarian, vegetarian soup, but the broth I have, which is a homemade broth, was a beef broth. So, you know, like, please use what you have or use what works best for your recipe. And as you come on, you know, this is going to be up. If you don't have time to watch the whole thing, that is no big deal. Don't be afraid to go out and come back and back and forth, because that will be just fine. So next up is, I would call this a whole carrot. Mine's kind of like 2 halves of a carrot because it was going a little south. So this is like perfect timing for soup. And I'm just going to give that a quick dice. And the key with this challenge is that we're trying to use all the main ingredients and have them be the star of the meal, of the, you know, the thing that you're cooking. So I am going to use all of the ingredients, and that it's in our challenge, that is the hot sauce and beans and pasta and peas. So that'll work out just fine. And again, there's no judgment. This is all what works for each one of us in our homes, right? So I have my my vegetables sweating in a pot, and I'm looking for that nice caramelization on them. I'm not going to move them around a whole lot at first. I have onion, celery, and carrots. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt, and that's probably about maybe almost a tablespoon, about a half tablespoon, or teaspoon, about a half teaspoon of pepper. I usually use like 1 teaspoon of salt and then half a teaspoon of pepper. It gives it a nice balance. So the next thing we're going to do is cabbage. And you might even have some cabbage in your refrigerator left over from St. Patrick's Day, so that might be really good. Cabbage in soup, anytime you stew the cabbage like this, it gives a really good flavor to the broth. So even if you don't have any broth, if you don't have chicken bouillon, if you don't have a can of French onion soup, you know, water works too. So don't be afraid to make do with what you have. And this is about a 1/4 head of cabbage, and I'm just chopping it up so when it's all cooked in together, it's going to be bite-sized. Because of course the goal is to have everything fit on a spoon, right? So very cool. All right, so next up is the kale. And the easiest way, you know, like, it's really weird in California. I'm here in Fresno. There's no milk, there's no bread, there's no toilet paper, but, you know, there's no pasta, there's no meat, but there's a ton of vegetables at the market. I have not been to the market for several days now, but there's things that you can buy that will last longer. Kale is one of them. It's a good, nutritious vegetable, but it comes and it looks kind of crazy, you know. It's like all this wiggly stuff. And the easiest way, the stem is not palatable. It's really tough, and it's very, very strong flavor. So the easiest way to take stem out is just pinch the bottom and then run your fingers right up the top, and it takes the stem off. If it missed this part, like right here, that's totally okay. We're going to chop that up, and it's not like big and heavy and like that part. So let me do this really quick. I love, you know, if you follow me at all, you know I love a great soup. And this is like right up my alley. So when you get the kale all destemmed, I want you to put like the largest leaf on the bottom and just roll it up super tight like you would a cigar. And then just, get out of the way. Just slice it in ribbons. and that will make the pieces really thin. And then run your knife across the opposite direction. You know, and again, what we're going for as a goal is it's going to fit on your spoon. So you want to keep it a nice small piece. Now, one of the deals with kale and leeks and Swiss chard, some of those vegetables, is that they have a tendency to be very, very gritty. They're grown in soil, of course they are. So just make sure you wash them off good. And so here I have, I don't know if you could see them, my little corgis at my feet. My salad spinner, and I had some water in there. And so I just want to give a real quick spin to this. And it's just kind of rinse that water first. I should have showed you. You know, like I rinsed the kale when I brought it home. And then it's just amazing how much grit and grime comes off it. There we go. So a little bit more. You can see a little bit more. But well, that's good. I got it nice and clean and fresh. So I'm going to toss that in my pot. And you can see this, right? This is like a big, wonderful pot of goodies. So now we have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. We have kale and cabbage and onions and carrots and celery. And if you wanted to give this base a little more, I want to say, I don't want to say heat, but flavor. Excuse me. Just one of those things that you have. Sorry. If you want to give this a little more flavor, you could add red pepper flakes. That would give it a nice little burst. And it's not going to really add heat so much as it's going to add depth in the background of the soup. But my challenge is hot sauce. So I'm going to use Tabasco sauce. You may have some of that in your refrigerator right now. And I'm going to give it like 3 good zhuzh of Tabasco and give it a stir around. And again, it's not going to add that much heat. It's just going to add depth. I think I'm going to hold off on those. The other part of this challenge was to use beans. And so I have some kidney beans. You could add this straight from the pot. It would make the soup a little thicker. I'm going to drain off just a little bit of the juice. Draining off the juice is also going to reduce the sodium, the excess sodium. I'm using kidney beans. You could use garbanzo beans. You could use black beans. You could use black-eyed peas. You could use whatever you have in your pantry. You could use dried beans. That would work too. I'm going to fill up my pan with water because I want about 2 cups of water in here and give that another stir. So now we have a nice thick, beautiful hearty soup. I'm going to add some garlic. And believe it or not, I have like 3 more things left to add to this. And then it's going to pretty much be done. Let's see if I'm going to increase the heat here and see if we can bring that to a boil. But, you know, like I said, if you don't have kale, don't worry about that. Use spinach. Use frozen spinach. You know, it's not always about having everything you exactly need from the recipe. Use what you have on hand, and don't forget your salt and pepper. And you'll be surprised how amazing your meal will taste. Oops. Back in my garbage bowl it goes. So here we have, good, it's coming up to a boil. Perfect. I'm going to put my garlic in and give it another stir. And see how crazy and rich that is? I'm also have, just because I know that Italian seasoning, dried Italian seasoning is going to be a wonderful addition to this. It's about half a teaspoon or so. I'm going to toss that in and give that a stir. Doesn't that look good? That looks really yummy. Hang on a quick sec. You see Jones back there? Yeah. So he is a year old. His birthday was last Saturday, so he's a year old. So this is my homemade stock. I'm going to toss that in and give it another stir. So now my challenge, like I said, my challenge included pasta. If you don't have little tiny pasta like this, use spaghetti. Break it up. That would work just fine. Use whatever you have on hand. It doesn't have to be what the recipe calls for. I also had some orzo pasta. That would work really nice in the soup. The one thing I always try to do is cut my ingredients and use ingredients that will fit on a spoon. When I eat a great bowl of soup, I want to have everything in one bite. So, you know, that's how I try to kind of remember to do things. So you're cutting up you know, your carrots and your celery and your cabbage, so everything fits in one spoon. So now I have one more thing. Hang on. So for the pasta, what I did was cook this beforehand. I would encourage that. If I put the pasta in there raw, it would suck up all that amazing broth that we just put into this soup, and we don't want that. Oftentimes too, people will hold off putting any pasta into it until right before serving. This was 1 cup of pasta, which made a huge amount and probably too much for that soup. So I probably won't put all of that in there. But the other thing I know I need to meet my challenge are peas. So this are just frozen peas. And I would put those in at the end also, because really all they need, the frozen peas, are just to simply unthaw. They're going to be bright and fresh. The soup will be delicious. So look at that. Does that look yummy or what? And so then if we add maybe about half of this pasta, what I did is I cooked it ahead of time, and then I put it a little olive oil with it. So, this looks fabulous. But of course we have to have the taste test, right? So I'm not quite done. I want to make sure I use my all my stuff for my Bloggers Challenge. Hang on. So, with every great bowl of soup, you have to have some crackers, right? So let me spoon some out. And there we go. So whether you call this minestrone or just a great vegetable soup, let me give it a little taste test, see if it needs anything. That is super yummy. It's really light. The vegetables are crunchy and fresh. If I was to kind of pick out a little bit more, I'm probably going to add like another half teaspoon of soup. Yeah, it's not here. I'm going to turn that off because I think that is truly done. I would probably add maybe another half teaspoon of soup and maybe a pinch of pepper. But our challenge included hot sauce, pasta, peas, what was the other thing? Beans, and there's one more thing. Peas, beans. But I don't know. I got all, crackers. So I got all four. So I hope that you are able, and I would say if you don't have frozen peas, you can use canned peas. You can use black-eyed peas. You know, just really be creative and stop. And if you ever have a question, let me know. I'd be happy to help you sub something out. So I hope you enjoyed it. That's my little quick live feed. And I hope that you're making a great pot of soup. Just pull out what you got in the pantry, check out what you got in the refrigerator, and make yourself a wonderful meal. Have a fabulous day. Have the best day you can. Talk to you soon.